This is Eagle Owl, and today we're going to talk about Eli Ricks. He is ready to compete. Also, we got to talk about the Andy Reid and his Donovan McNabb thing. And lastly, we're going to revisit the DeVonta Smith and the Micah Parsons trade and which team actually won that trade. Let's get straight into it. All right, man, we're going to get straight into the topics today. And first, we're going to start with Eli Ricks. So, Eli Ricks decided to post on Instagram on his story. I'm back on that SHIT with an explosive bomb. Now, he is a guy we are forgetting about, let's be honest. But when we first picked him up as a UDFA, guys like you and me, we were very excited because we was like, this is a guy that was supposed to be a first round pick, but some things happened off the field. Then plus his 40 time and all that wasn't that great. So it dropped him from being a possible first round pick all the way to a UDFA. Now, a lot of Eagles fans, we thought he was a steal, the things he was doing during the season, and he made an impact. So one of the plays he made during the season when he got his chance as a rookie, we know him versus Tyreek Hill. He did a good job. He had some opportunities on the outside. To me, he did a good job. And I seen the future. I'm like, the future with Eli Ricks and even Akili Ringo, what's going to happen is that there's going to be a time where James Bradbury and Slade contract is up. Both guys will be gone. And it can be up to Keely Ringo or Eli Ricks for the future to be theirs. And the future is now. So what I did not expect is a guy named Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell to be as great. So now those two and Keely Ringo and Eli Ricks are really battling for their future because whoever won that battle could be a starter on a championship team and play at a high level and possibly get paid. And the loser of that battle, probably a bench player, probably get cut, go to another team, and maybe they can make something shake there. But Eli Ricks is definitely a guy we forgetting about because again, he showed a high upside last year. I'm not sure what happened. I didn't really hear his name during training camp. Honestly, I thought Eli Ricks was going to get cut, but he found some way to get on the team. So there's something Vic Fangio see in him to keep him along. Because remember, we let go Josh Jobe. We let go a couple guys at McPherson. But Eli Ricks found the way to stay on the team and make the 52-man roster. Now, he got a high chance of doing that now. And to me, he has a high chance of possibly even beating out Adoree Jackson and Keely Ringo. So what he has to do now is just make some noise, make some things happen, make some plays, get the reporters talking about him. Hell, get Vic Fangio to see him. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see what Eli Ricks can do. Because the future I was talking about then, 2, 3 years ago, that's right now. That's right now. So that battle, don't forget about him because he's third. And there's no real separation between him, Keely Ringo, or Dory Jackson. Hell, Eli Ricks, they rookie year, you can make a case he somewhat beat out Keely Ringo. Now, Keely Ringo got better since the past 2 years. I can, firmly agree with that. I'm not sure where Eli Ricks is at now. I'm not sure where he's at because, again, last year I didn't really see him. His rookie year, he was good. So we got to see where he's at now. Training camp, he's going to be a guy I'm watching, see what he do. Do he get some picks? Do he make some plays? And this is a scheme he could fit because while Eli Ricks is not the fastest with straight line speed, he's a really good zone cornerback and very physical. So we will see. We will see what Eli Ricks can do. Get back on your stuff, man, because this is the time. There's no Slay. There's no big name like no Jalen Ramsey or anything like that. These are legitimate guys you can beat out. Now, beating out Slay and stuff like that, and then what Isaiah Rodgers and stuff was around, those are guys that are hard to beat out. But this group of guys, you just won't be surprised who win that battle. But Eli Ricks, we're gonna be watching. We definitely gonna be watching. So it's a slow news day, so I want to go over some things. So it's been a couple years since the DeVonta Smith and the Micah Parsons, trade. So back 2021, Eagles trade up with the Cowboys. Eagles get DeVonta Smith. Cowboys get that coasting guy who I believe played for the Giants now with the 64th, and they got Micah Parsons. So it's really who won that trade? And I would say it's very, very close. And I gotta give it to the Eagles. And the reason why is because to this day, the Cowboys are still looking for another edge rusher. The Cowboys, they thought they got some generational with Michael Parsons, whereas though Michael Parsons is a really good edge rusher, but he struggled to stop the run. He got a huge weakness, and the off the field stuff. That's why I think separates them the most. I think the Cowboys would rather have an off the field guy like DeVonta Smith than Micah Parsons, in my personal opinion. Now, DeVonta Smith on the field, he had 1,000 yard season. He broke the rookie record of Deshaun Jackson's. He's a Super Bowl winner. Now, the problem with DeVonta Smith is that we traded for a guy named A.J. Brown, who can somewhat be a big shadow over DeVonta Smith. Sometimes you could forget how good DeVonta Smith is because A.J. Brown, let's be honest, and I said this when we got him, he's generational. Whereas though DeVonta Smith can be generational, but man, AJ Brown is just he's a different beast. Let's be honest. AJ Brown is we're talking about a top three receiver, and DeVonta Smith top 10, maybe slightly out of the top 10, but he's still in that range. And that's what we needed for DeVonta Smith. DeVonta Smith was a great replacement for Jalen Rager. AJ Brown is just again generational in general. So I think we won that trade is because the fit, the culture, and what you get out of DeVonta Smith, we was able to pay him a reasonable amount of money, whereas though the Cowboys are still fighting, to pay Micah Parsons. And Micah Parsons, to me, didn't really make a big impact on that team. Now you get the highlight reels, the media talking about him because he played for the Cowboys and he was a first round pick. Whereas though DeVonta Smith, he get the highlight reels, this, that, and the third, but to me he's very humble. He know how to play his position. He plays it at a very high level. He plays at a very high level. And honestly, I wouldn't be mad if people said Michael Parsons. I remember this was a debate, I think back in 2022 when we went to the Super Bowl and lost. And I think we were struggling not too much on the edge because Hassan Reddick was having that type of year. But people kept saying, imagine if we had Hassan Reddick and Michael Parsons. And there were Eagle fans at that time saying the Cowboys won that trade because Michael Parsons is so generational. Now you're talking about 2 years later, it's hard to say that. Is Michael Parsons really generational, or he's just, a good to a great edge rusher, a pass rusher? So I give it to the Eagles for sure. I definitely give it to the Eagles. But let's go over this last topic. The last topic is Donovan McNabb. Yeah, we going way back. Donovan McNabb was on Fox News and he talked about Andy Reid and Saquon Barkley. Basically, what was a bigger loss? Eagles letting go Andy Reid or the Giants letting go Saquon Barkley? Now, a person in their right mind would say the Giants just let go Saquon Barkley because they could have traded him somewhere else, got some compensation, especially if he wasn't going to pay him. Why would you let a guy like that just walk? Let him pick his team freely? No, you don't do that to a guy that good. Now, I can admit, Saquon Barkley was never going to be the Saquon Barkley with the Giants that he is with the Eagles, but you could have traded him. Say if you trade him to Houston, he's out of your division. He doesn't go to your division rival. You get some picks. You could have just did that instead of franchise tagging him, letting him walk. Nah, that was a bad choice. And the Eagles, years ago, we decided, it's time to let Andy Reid go. And Andy Reid goes to the Chiefs. Well, he won 3 Super Bowls there. And since we let him go, we won 2 Super Bowls. So I think it worked out on both sides for sure. Andy Reid needed a fresh start. The Eagles needed a fresh start. I would say Andy Reid always kept us competitive, but it did get to a point. And I think people forget that point. Whereas though Andy Reid, it was just bad. It was bad, man. And I'm happy for Andy Reid and everything that's going on in Kansas City for him. He gets generational quarterback. People call him one of the greatest coaches of all time. Which Eagles fans, we knew he was a great coach, but I don't know if he was able to take us to that level that we wanted. My personal opinion. Doug got it done. Sirianni got it done. I think Sirianni could get a couple more done. Oh, I just think it worked out on both sides. But to me, if we had to compare Eagles and Andy Reid and the Giants and Saquon Barkley, to me it's a no-brainer. The Giants made a huge mistake by not trading him. Now he would never be the Saquon he is with us with the Giants, but by not trading him, that was a bad idea. But that's all I got for you guys today on this slow news day. We know how June get. And what do you think of how do you feel, man? Who won the trade between the Eagles and Cowboys? Also, Eli Ricks, he's ready. And the Andy Reid and the Saquon Barkley thing. But this is Eagle Owl, man.